I am balancing my camera on my water bottle because I'm too lazy to get the light stand. Hello, little Shaka. Oh, I love having kittens everywhere. You probably are noticing I'm wearing the same exact shirt that I had on in the last episode. And that's because I didn't change my shirt and I'm recording both in the same day. So typically I like to put on different shirts so it looks like a different day. But we're talking about comparison and that things are not always what you think they are. So there's my full disclosure today. Little buddy sleeping in my arms. Oh, he's so sleepy. Sorry that every episode kind of starts the exact same way, but I'm obsessed with my cats and you're just going to have to deal with it. I still think, like, in my head, 2 adult cats and 2 kittens is not the same as having 4 cats. But I know what you're thinking, India, that's literally how math works. It just doesn't feel the same. Like 2 little tiny pocket-sized beans is like, oh, that's like, 2 little kittens, I guess, plus 2 cats. So we do have 4 cats, but it is good and it's fun to have them everywhere I look. Hi, sir. Did you know I was talking about you? I'm sorry. Yeah, I love having you though. Yeah. Okay, so today I wanted to chat about some stuff I've been thinking about, mainly just a couple reflections on life and being an adult and just social media and, blah, blah, the stuff you guys probably think about all the time. But mostly I wanted to get into your first dates. This episode is a long time coming because I asked for first dates months ago and finally got around to recording your responses. So I will be sharing your crazy first date stories in just a few minutes. And I have not read these before. This is a first time for me. I've just been seeing the responses, like the count come in. So I have 5 stories to tell, but I haven't read them yet. So I'm going to live react as if that's like a thing today on the episode. But I hope it's a fun, easy listen today. We'll have some girl chat, listen to first date stories, and hope your day's off to a good start. But for now, theme song.
Creatives, are you struggling to keep up with all your clients' needs? Maybe you feel like you're swimming through emails, DMs, texts, and feel like there's no way to keep communication together. Not to mention keeping track of payments, invoices, contracts, and having to freak out at 2 a.m. because you forgot to email a lead client back. Yikes! My entire workflow shifted when I stopped DIYing my approach and switched to HoneyBook. They are a powerhouse CRM, client relations management tool, if you didn't know, that acts as a coworker you've always needed. HoneyBook helps with invoicing, payment tracking, contracts for every session under the sun, scheduling, lead forms, automations, and streamlining communication to one stop for you. Not to mention your clients will notice the professional difference you bring to the table with the HoneyBook tools. If you're ready to step up your business and feel peace of mind with your client's approach, I have an exclusive offer for you. As a thank you for listening to the India and Stuff show, take 50% off your first year of HoneyBook by going to share.honeybook.com/IndiaJadePhoto. Or if you're like me and that's way too much to remember, just tap the URL in the show notes. Now back to the show.
So have you ever gotten a message or ran into someone who's kind of a peer who, maybe you don't know super well and they're just like, oh my gosh, your life looks amazing. I love you. I'm so whatever. And you kind of just don't know what to say. Or maybe like me, you feel like you have to instantly burst their bubble and show them the real stuff. I guess disarm them a little bit and kind of give them a peek behind the curtain. Because you probably even noticed in the last episode that I did, I was talking about how my office is a mess. And at the end, I included some clips of how messy it is. And I was like, should I do that? Should I not? Because on one hand, I also am a professional business owner and wedding photographer and mentor to people. And so there's a part of me that's like, no, I can't show them how messy my office is. Cause then for some reason they're going to think that I'm not a good professional. You know what I mean? Or maybe like sometimes I've naturally curly hair. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't have my natural curls on a wedding day. That doesn't look professional. Or I have to have a, decent amount of makeup on. Otherwise I look unprofessional or sleepy, or they're not going to take me seriously. This is just like an ongoing thing. I don't really have an answer for you. I'm just wondering, because I feel that way. Ian and I had this conversation recently of like, he was like, you don't have to like do your makeup. I sometimes run late on Sunday morning, so I sit in the passenger seat like a passenger princess and do my makeup in the car. He's like, just so you know, like I never expect you to like do your makeup when we're going out or anything, and you don't have to wear that to church. And I'm like, oh, I know. Like I feel fine around you without makeup. I feel fine going in public, even doing podcast episodes without makeup. I feel like I've done that. I don't even have that much on right now. But I'm like, for some reason, like going to church, going out to a restaurant, or like, seeing friends like in public, I feel like I need to. Like, I know that my close friends wouldn't view me any differently, but like if I ran into a client or, someone that I want their respect or their, I don't know, their like stamp of approval, like, of course I'm going to wear makeup. And, I didn't used to be that way. So it's just interesting that like, I can't tell if it's just like, yeah, that's a professional move. That's just being smart and presenting yourself well. Or if also that's just this, I don't know, this reaction to being in a culture where you've got these expectations of like, oh, like makeup equals more professional somehow than no makeup, or a decent outfit, or natural curls is somehow not good and straighter hair is good. Like, I don't know. There's all these weird little social rules, but I am like on the understanding of like, I like dressing up and I like to put myself together if I'm going out and about, or especially like, I think dressing for the job you want, not the job you have, is a really good thing just to kind of keep in mind when you're going out and about. And I think our outfits and the way we present ourselves can like reflect all that we want to show the world. But I do just think it's interesting, some of those things that will like, I don't know, like judge ourselves. I can say like, I don't think I've looked at someone else in public and gone, oh, her hair's naturally curly equals not professional. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, she doesn't have enough makeup on, or, her outfits, meh. I don't think I would trust her as a business person, as a professional. I don't think I've ever thought those thoughts, but I will say like, if you're walking around Walmart and you see someone in their PJs with their slides on and the big messy bun and, a double, triple shot of espresso, you can start to infer things. And I would probably say, oh, my first thought isn't business professional. If I see that kind of person, I'm thinking, tired gal, maybe a mom, maybe someone who's stressed out, maybe someone who, didn't have a lot of sleep, or just getting through the day and doesn't care what people think. I don't know why I'm getting on this tangent. But anyway, I guess I was just thinking about comparison, and oftentimes people who I love, or why is that always up? People who are super well-meaning or that I don't know very well, but really like want to get to know me, often will say something like that in person and be like, oh my gosh, like your life looks like X, or your outfits are always so whatever, pretty, put together, blah. And I'm like, oh, thanks. But then I'm also like, is that what you think of me? Is it like I'm 110% put together all the time? Cause I hate to burst your bubble, but that ain't the truth. But then you also have to ride that wave of like, I want to be perceived as a business owner, boss girl, baddie. And also I am still very much a gal, just like everyone else, trying to pop the bubbles of social media fatigue and shed some light on what real life looks like, and, kind of reverse comparison syndrome on some people. So I don't know. Basically, I want to be Emma Chamberlain. Yep. I want to be Emma Chamberlain and Liza Koshy and Taryn Delaney Smith. I want to take on the dignity that some of these queens who have gone before us have, and toe the line of outrageous humility and silliness and, normal everyday humanity, and also like put on a dress and do it. And, rock someone's world with like the amount of knowledge and professionalism and like, boom, like I don't know. I just want to be me. Just want to be me. I also feel like I sound like that pick me girl. It's like, I'm just so stressed. It's like, no, whatever. I'm just trying to process my thoughts out loud and was wondering if anyone else feels that way too. I was just going to say a note on comparison. I think I've talked about this before, but you never know what someone's going through. You never know what they're doing at home, what they're dealing with at home, the stuff they're walking through. And every single one of us turns on a switch when we're out and about. We have the outside versions of us and the inside versions. Someone said it really well about like the shadow self versus the like masked self. And the goal is to shrink the distance between those two. That's probably from some really brilliant theologian that I'm totally butchering because I don't know who they are. Is my mic even working? Hopefully it is. It's fine. Anyway, I think that's what I hope this podcast is, this show, this little moment, blip in your time warp. Out of all the things on the social media channels and feeds, I hope that this is a fun place where you're not like, oh gosh, I wish my life was like India's, because like there's so much garbage going on. And I'm entirely grateful for my life. And I love everything that's happening. Some days I love, what I can make out of a mess. And I hope that shines through. But I don't know, just wanted to pop your little bubbles sometimes. Also, I feel like I go through very big, sways in how confident I am in life and my direction of things. Sometimes I was on Threads trying to be on Threads. I'm trying to see if it's a good idea to do so I can tell my folks that I mentor and work it into my strategy with social media. But I was on Threads and I was, posting a couple conversation starters. And one of them was about the price of photography. And I just was asking photographers, hey, what do you do when someone says your budget's this amount of money? And it was a pretty low amount of money, especially for wedding photography. And it kind of blew up for no reason. It gained some traction and it got 900 or so responses, a lot of responses. And one of them literally screenshotted a photo that I'm really proud of off of my website and responded to my thread with it and was like, girl, you're way overcharging. I can't believe you would complain about receiving this extremely low amount of money. I was like, humbled, but also you don't know what you're talking about. So thanks. Anywho, I don't know why I got off on that tangent. Comparison's not great. If you feel it coming on, try to empathize with that person, put yourself in their shoes. And also, sometimes you compare yourself to people who actually do have their lives completely in order. And I'll be like, well, my life doesn't look like hers, but she's probably going through something. And then really she's not, and she's thriving and she's wealthy and she's healthy and she's blessed. And I'm like, okay. But even so, I think we just need to release that and be like, I'm happy for that person. It's all good. Can we get back to, this is my sermon that I wanted to say. Can we get back to just being happy for other people sometimes? And wouldn't that be cool? The joy that would bring if we're just love that for you. Love that for her. Love that that's happening for you. I don't have to be jealous. I don't have to be envious. I don't have to, do anything about it. I just be like, oh, that's good for you. I'll go back to my life. You have a good time with yours. I did write one question though. I was just pondering if someone does have some bouts of comparison, as we all do, it takes 5 seconds on social media for me to be like, rats. I'm comparing my life to hers. What if we ask the question, am I envious or am I curious? Ooh. I feel like all the time when we see comparison conversations come up in sermons, in online, whatever, blogs, vlogs, who knows, it's very much this negative thing. I actually wrote a blog post about this a couple months ago. Can comparison be a good thing? And I kind of think that it can sometimes. But one of the things that I hope to touch on is I think when you're coming at comparison from, it always means that I'm now envious of this situation, this person, and now I want my life to look like theirs. I don't think that always has to be the case. I think sometimes comparison can come out of a misguided or mismanaged feeling of curiosity. My life isn't like this person's, But instead of like, how do I make my life this person's life and live their life? It could just be like, oh, I'm just curious, like, how did they get there? Or how did they get that view on life or that mindset? Or how did they come to that understanding? Or how do they, how do they, even just the little things like, how did they buy those shoes? Or where do they get their coffee? I don't know. I think sometimes we view it as like, I want to be them and do that thing. And I want their money and I want their spouse and their income. And it's like, no. Like, what if it was just curiosity that we accidentally mislabeled as comparison or envy? And it's like, no, I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot we have to learn and a lot that can be taught through humility and going, I wonder what this person has to teach me, not I wonder how I can become this person. Anyway, that's my little tangent for today. We're going to talk about your first dates. That had nothing to do with this. I just thought it'd be fun to chat about what's on my brain. And since I have probably undiagnosed ADHD, that's what we got. Let's dive in. Recap. These first date stories were submitted by you, my faithful listeners, all 5 of you apparently. And these are not things that I've read yet. It's all anonymous as well, so I don't know who wrote these in, but I'm just going to read them, and we'll see what y'all went through on your first dates. So let's do this thing. Okay, so this one says, not a first date story, but a first kiss story. I like it already. So once upon a time, I was in 8th grade, as we all once were. That's anyone who's older than 15 can say that. My 8th grade class was on a trip to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That's fun. And we're at our first stop on the date night, on the first night of the trip, and some fun zone place with, okay, sorry, I'm bad at reading. Okay, we're on our first stop on the first night of the trip at some fun zone place with go-karts and whatnot. I had recently just started dating, in all quotes, this girl named Rebecca. Ooh, so a guy wrote this. Or girl. I don't know who y'all are. We'd been boyfriend and girlfriend for about, it's a boy. We've been boyfriend and girlfriend for about 2 weeks, but hadn't kissed yet. That night at Fun Zone, my buddy Cam, we're spilling names. My buddy Cam told me that tonight should be the night to finally do it. This is so juicy. So the 2 of us went and found Rebecca. Oh my gosh, there are names in this. Hanging out with her friends behind the building. And right then and there, in front of our friends, I went up to her, grabbed her waist to pull her in to kiss her. Ick! In all caps and parenthetical. She, however, did not kiss me. Ugh, she was pulled away and fell backwards onto the ground. Oh my gosh. This is turning into an abusive story. Do I need to go with a trigger warning? Oh my gosh. All of our friends laughed at us and then walked away, leaving me and Rebecca standing in the mortified silence. I like this. This is a dramatic reading. After a little bit, she finally looked at me and said, "Do you just want to get this over with?" To which I responded, "Sure." Then we puckered up, leaned in, and shared the quickest peck in the history of pecks. Then she yelled, "Ew," and ran away. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, I need to get my details straight. They're at Fun Zone on a field trip. Cam says tonight should be the night. He goes around back, finds this girl, Rebecca, hanging with her friends, and then she grabs her waist to pull her in to kiss her. Okay. I thought they kissed and then they kissed again. He pulls her in. She didn't kiss him. Then her friends pull her away or she pulled away and then fell backwards. Got it. Then after everyone leaves, they do a smooch and it's not good. Wow. I don't know who sent that in, but I only know one guy who listens to my podcast. So that's not Ian. So I'm wondering if it's this guy. So thank you, brave submitter, for submitting your story. That's interesting. I wonder if you ended up with Rebecca. I'm going to guess no. Okay. Next one. Here we go. I like this. I think this is fun. You guys should send me more stuff. Okay. Me and this girl met in college. We went to go see Gone Girl. It was a really good movie, but she hated it. That's the whole submission. Also, why is this so dark? All right, I guess that's the whole submission. You went to go see Gone Girl, and it wasn't good. I haven't seen that movie, but okay. All right, this other one says, went to a casino sports bar and watched a football game. It was awesome. All right. I need more tea. I need more information. What sports bar? Also, why a casino for your first date? That feels very weird. That feels like a 3 years in the marriage kind of thing. Watched a football game. Is that your thing on first dates? How do you get to like bond with them? Was it a team you like? Okay, I need more information. Reply with that one. Next one's juicier. Okay. My first date with my future husband was at United Dairy Farmers, why? UDF in parentheses, in this little hometown outside of Cincinnati. Part ice cream parlor, part gas station. The setting was befitting the budget of broke college kids. I can attest. The scene wasn't particularly important because the conversation was so rich. Aw, that's sweet. After the scoops were long gone, we spent the next 4 hours sitting and talking and getting to know each other. The second time we went on a date was at the same UDF. Okay. The same place, 2 times in a row. He was 2 hours late picking me up for ice cream, honey, at a gas station. He lived about an hour from me. All right, that makes sense. So the drive wasn't always ideal, but some bonkers traffic kept me waiting. We stopped by the UDF just long enough to pick up some to-go cones. I also don't think I can read. Before heading out to a park before dusk. The wait was worth it. He proposed that evening. The second time they went on a date, he proposed? Hold on. I'm going to need a minute. They've only gone to UDF one time before, and then the second time they go to the same UDF, he proposed? Oh my gosh. That's a lot. I mean, when you know, but did you know? Gas station, ice cream twice, and then it's marriage, I guess. Okay. We stop at the UDF. Okay. Then the wait was worth it. He proposed that evening. We're going strong 13 years later. Oh my gosh. I'm going to cry. Through many seasons of ups, downs, sickness, health, plenty, and broke, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And his kissing ain't too bad either, with a wink. Oh my gosh. Wow. I was not prepared for that. That's amazing. Congratulations. I was not sure what to think when you said UDF for first and second date and then marriage proposal on the second date. But that ice cream must have the joy of the Lord in it. Wow. I don't understand. But 13 years ago, I'm trying to think. What's it, 2024? So that means 2011. Is that math? I don't know. I think I'm happy that your relationship was like good and protected, because I feel like if someone said that now in 2024, I'd be like, what? But back then, for some reason, I guess without social media, without all the hoopla about like dating and proposals and all these opinions, I feel like I can buy it more since it's back then. But like now I'd be like, I'd be a little concerned. I guess my follow-up question is like, if you have kids, if your kid said, hey, I'm going out for ice cream with someone at UDF, and then did that same date twice and came home with a ring on their finger, would you be like, yay? I don't know, but still, congratulations. That's amazing. Okay. This is the last one. My first date with my husband, we had already been talking long distance, parentheses. We met on a summer mission trip, end parentheses, and he was coming up to visit me, and I didn't want our first meeting in months to be in front of my family, so I told him to meet me at a coffee shop. Seems fair. I did tell my parents, who were running errands in town, that as long as they gave us a bit more time, they could crash the date to say hi real fast. Aw. Okay, so they've been talking for a while, but this was their first technical date. And she already said husband, so I know they get married. But like, all right, it's still their first technical date, but they had been talking. So now the parents have permission to come see. I did tell my parents, who were running errands in town, okay, they could come in and say hi. It went well, and we got married 13 months later. The number 13. Is this a Taylor Swift thing? Months later, he also proposed in that coffee shop the weekend everything in Ohio started closing down for COVID. Okay, that puts us at 2020. He had to call the coffee shop and ask permission, but first, LOL, but they allowed it. That's really cute. I need to know the name of the coffee shop, what your orders were, who we need to thank for that, because that's very sweet. I also got engaged the week that COVID happened. In case you didn't know, I got engaged in March of 2020. Not at a coffee shop, but a couple weeks before, I was doing long distance while I was dating Ian. And I came back to Columbus for a weekend or something, and he contacted a coffee shop, the Roosevelt, the Gravity location, and asked if he could set up a little date table for me there. And I think it makes me emotional because the grounds of that visit were tough. I was like dealing with some really intense, weird scenarios, and basically like there was a big group happening, and Ian was explicitly not invited and excluded from it. And I felt really sad about it, and it was just out of my control. But Ian still wanted to see me on my trip. So he was like, can I still take you to coffee while you're in town, even though I'm not allowed to come over and see you? And I was like, yes. And it was very Romeo and Juliet of him. And he asked me to meet at the coffee shop, and I got there, and he had like a tablecloth, candles, rose petals, coffee, and had this whole little setup for me, and it was very sweet. So that's all I have for today, but hopefully this was a fun little episode for you. Okay, guys, I love this though. I love reading your stories, and I love that I don't know who you are. This feels so fun. Maybe I'll do more of these. If you have like a good, like, what should I do? Like confessions, or like, I don't know, like worst date stories. That would be a good one. Maybe I'll do like worst dates or your confessions. I don't know. Think of something you want to get off your chest that you can't say anywhere else. It's going to be anonymous, so why not? But that's all I had for today. I hope your day's going well. I hope if you're single, you go on a really exciting, fun date soon. And if you're married, I hope you go on a really fun, exciting date soon. And if you're not into dating, or you're just content in your season of contentment, that's amazing. Maybe you could teach us all something on comparison. But yeah, love you guys. See you next time. And my armpit stinks, so I need to go take a shower. Bye!